This is the Casio MWD110H. It is known as the Gshock killer, the tank type Casio, and probably the most well protected frame Casio watch that is not a Gshock watch, right? Right. And these can be purchased anywhere from around $35 to perhaps $50 depending on where you buy it from. Let's go ahead and talk about this baby. So first things first, on advertisements, on videos, the size may seem intimidating and they might make it look as bigger than it should be, but it's not as big as one would think it is, because at first I was really hesitant to buy it because I was afraid of how big it is, but turns out some of the guys out there, their hands are quite slim, so it will make the watch look bigger. So if you got big arms, it's not going to be as big as it is as you're seeing right now. So I don't really have big arms, and you can see for yourself that it's not really as big, even if I got slim arms, right? And just for quick comparison here, I got this one here, this Casio watch here. This is the, make sure I get the name right, the 218, the W218 here, which is actually considered as a smaller size to me, and it's not so big. If you ask me, it's not so big. Then I have the F91, something really popular among the Casio watches, and you can see for yourself, it's probably, in terms of the width, it's maybe about, I'd say maybe like 1.5 size wide compared to the F91. So it's not really like twice the size or however it looks, okay? Now, before I continue, if you're okay with the size of the watch itself, one thing to note is the straps here. I don't know if you can make it out, but you can see for yourself that no matter how much you tighten it, there's always going to be that little space there, which is going to make the straps look bigger than they should on your hand. So that's one of the downside about this watch here. But putting this thing on is really, it's actually smooth. It's a smooth way to put this watch on. Don't feel much of a struggle when putting it on. And I'm not ready to go ahead and talk about much about what these features can do, the features of the watch here, as I personally haven't experimented with it much. But for the adjust here, I guess you don't really get much out of the adjust unless you do the mode here. So mode, we got this timer here, alarm here, and then we got 2 different times, if I'm correct, to stop here, and then we got the reset option. These are all going to help you with editing. But I was very skeptical about the light here. But it's a one-sided light, which I want to say I'm kind of disappointed about that. I thought it was on 2 sides, but it's a one side. So it lights up more on the left side there, not the 2 sides here, okay? But in terms of like toughness and durability, I should say, for this watch here, it definitely is going to score a 10 out of 10 because this here is supposedly a sort of aluminum frame and not some sort of painted silver on resin or plastic, okay? So that's gonna make this thing really take some blows for you. In terms of the screen here, this top part here, it is actually protruding higher than the frame, which I thought at first the metal frame was higher than the screen display here itself, but it's not. If you look closely here, you can see the clear display here is actually higher than the aluminum frame, which I don't know why it ended up that way, but I do appreciate the symmetry of this watch here, and I always prefer the rather squared design over the rounded design when it comes to digital type watches. Okay, if it's an analog one, I'll definitely go with the round ones, but the digital ones, I always prefer this shape here or the square ones here. The buttons are gonna stick out a bit. Some of them feel kind of hard to press, which can be good and can also not be good at times, all right? So they're gonna feel very stiff at times there. And here you can see which one it is. The name of this model here. The belt is actually gonna be thicker. It feels thicker compared to other lower price Casio watches. Now this does come in different colors here. We got this one here. There is one with the green, dark army green belt. And there is one with a negative display, which I was hoping to get, but by the time I had some money in my account to make that purchase, it's just no longer there again. And I think there's another one that's like a plain white one. I might be mistaken. Okay, I'm not mistaken. This is the one I'm talking about here. This is the one with the negative display. I really was aiming for this one here, but again, by the time I had money in my account, it went up. But if I do see one within the price range of like 30, 35, I'll definitely go ahead and grab it. And this is the one with the green belt frame, aluminum frame, and the orange text there. Okay, so that's about it for this watch here. And it's definitely gonna have some weight to it. So if you don't like the heavier ones there, it's definitely gonna have some weight to it. So if you wanna avoid big size digital type watches, you also wanna avoid heavy Casio watches out there, then this is not for you, okay? And if you do love double lights like I do, I really like when the watch has two lights. You can see here for yourself, like this one here, there's two from each corner. This one just has one, and it's really disappointing because there's this huge light button, and one would think if you press it down there's going to be like a whole backlight or two lights, but it's just one. But I mean, it is what it is. I do still appreciate the design and the tough durability look of this Casio watch, and I don't know, I've been trying to get these little lint off of it. And that's it. Like and sub, my friends.